was in your book,
Yeah.
wonderful book, Loneliness of 1,000 Years. And there's a lot of judgment also from Czech tabloids coming from that. All the comments also like on your Facebook of you're insane, you shouldn't be here, and go home. And what is the state of things like of that? What you really had or you have, or you take any medication?
No, I don't. I have diabetes type 2, so I have blood pressure, high blood pressure. So I take medication for that and diabetes. And I take some stuff, but I don't eat lithium. I was diagnosed bipolar in 2004 because I felt like one morning I woke up and my head was like almost like exploding, and we were in the studio with Stratovarius at that time, doing what was in the Black album of Stratovarius. So I was hospitalized for 4 days, and Jörg Michael played the whole record, all the drums alone, without anybody.
Wow.
So that album, he really showed like what a true metal drummer can do. You know? And you know, in the official records, I'm bipolar, but I never felt like, what the fuck does it mean at the end of the day? You know, because you're a musician, you always go with high and low. In the tour, you know, you play the show, you know, to 6,000 people in Paris or in Via Funchal in
São Paulo.
Yeah. So you get this fucking hype and the energy coming, and then after 2 hours you're alone in the room and like so quiet. It takes hours to get down, you know, from that. So it is like this. Also the musician's life. But now I'm like this, as you can see, you know. Because I went through therapy for 7 years and I did a lot of writing and thinking and reading, and I had at one point over 3,000 books.
Wow.
Yeah, I read everything. So, philosophy, psychology, natural.
No, because it's one thing that we were discussing before, that from reading all this, I can say now garbage that is published, they paint a picture of this horrible, crazy man. And I mentioned also before that I thought that I was going to come here and I was like, I'm going to meet a bull or something, because someone very angry, and it's what I mentioned, that you're like, you speak very like with this very soft voice all the time.
Kare was the same. He was always like very soft spoken. Always.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because you know, many people who hate me, if they would meet me, they would instantly like me. You know, because they don't know who I am. They really don't know. They just see this in the comments and whatnot, you know.
And they don't give you the chance to speak.
Yeah, and okay, in my music I'm naked. I'm there in the lyrics, in the music. I'm very romantic guy. I'm very soft, you know.
The pieces.
Yeah, I'm not angry. Although I have a lot of anger, because I have like I don't have many friends, because I don't let people close normally. Because it always happens to me, if I let the person too close, I escape. You know, if I let too close, I escape. It happened in every marriage, except with Tommy. With her, it never happened. Yeah. Because my father killed himself when I was 12, and I almost saw it. You know? Wow. Yeah. He did a horrible thing. He jumped from the 4th floor and cut his arteries with a knife, went to the bathtub, there was this much blood. My mother never explained to me what happened, so I had to investigate it myself. I ordered all the documents and autopsy reports and photos, and you know, because I always wanted to know what happened to him, because nobody told me. Only what I saw. I was 10th of March 78 when he killed himself. 1 week after the birthday, he bought me an aquarium 1 week before. Yeah, we always had aquariums at home. And it was 10th of March 78 when I left my home, because they got divorced, my parents, and moved to Vuosaari, which is in Helsinki, like an island. So my father moved very close to us, like 2 kilometers. And the visiting rights were once a week on Saturdays, but only one time before he died. We went only one time there. So in that morning, normally my route was, his house was here, and I went like, my school was here, and I normally walked here. But that morning, I had a thought here, go up, and I went up here, and I was standing there, I saw him in the window. So I was waving, "Hi, Daddy." But he didn't see me. And I still remember I had the thought, go in, ring the bell, because something's going to happen. But I didn't. So I went to the school, the first class, went back to the yard, and I saw police and ambulance coming. And everybody ran to the house because he had jumped. Except me, because I knew what happened. And then what he did, he cut the arteries, he went to the bathtub, and somehow he got up, he went to he had a white carpet, so you could see the bloody footsteps. He sat down on the bedroom sofa for a moment, and then he went to the balcony and climbed, and he hanged quite a long time, I heard, before he then left. And I saw the balcony was completely bloody. And when I saw that, I started running, and I ran, oh my God, 20 years I ran. From the original thing I ran. And I've been, in psychology, they call it you repeat your childhood traumas, you know. Mm-hmm. You act upon those feelings. You always find yourself somehow in the same situation in your life until you resolve the trauma. And that's what I did in therapy. So I learned about myself, how I act in certain situations, so I can control it now, you know. And that's worth gold, you know, this knowledge. And my father was very sensitive. I can thank him that I became a musician, because he was always playing music in my home, ever since I was 3. My mother told me that I was 3 when I was already singing Beatles by the radio, yeah. And I started playing guitar when I was 7. I got a guitar. But I was 5 when I first time this. Yeah, my cousin had a guitar. I memorized the notes. Mm-hmm. Then I was 7. I got the guitar and I could tune it by ear immediately. Wow. Yeah. Then I went to guitar school, and then he freaked out, my daddy. So almost every weekend he got really drunk, and we escaped in the night to his father's home and with my mother. And was, I think, 77 Christmas, he got really drunk and he threw the whole table out from the window.
What?
And then we escaped, and the next morning we came back, and I never forget this, what he asked me. He said, "Why did you leave?" He said, "Why did you leave?" I'm like, "Why did we leave? Of course we left. We were so scared." And I was always in the middle of them, because he was beating up my mother. I was 8 or 9 or 10, and I was in between my parents, trying to defend. I even ordered bodybuilding stuff because I wanted to be really strong, to protect my mother. Yeah.
Wow. And these are the stories that no one hears. And
well, now they are writing a biography of me. Actually, it's ready, so it's going to come out 10th of March.
Wow.
Yeah. I chose this date, you know. And originally I was planning to release my album also 10th of March, but it's too early. I think it will be released before the tour, so in May.
So you keep up with all the plans and everything. And I saw that it's actually the biography is being translated also in several languages,
yes,
right?
Yes, it will be in many languages. It's 350 pages.
Wow.
It's my whole story, ever since I was born until now.
Wow.
Yeah, there's Dominica speaking there, one chapter as well, yeah. My mother, my therapist, my brother, my daughter, everybody.
And that's the story that people should know.
Yes.
The real Timo.
I needed to tell it, yeah. Well, to be honest, I don't really, like I said, I don't care what the people think, but I think it's an interesting story, you know, because I think people can learn from that a lot. How to cope, you know, that never to give up. Never to give up.
And even regarding mental illness, I think it can allow people to have different eyes on that.
Well, come on. You have to be crazy to be a musician. Like Beethoven. Can you imagine Beethoven was sane? He could never write stuff like that, you know. You have to be crazy. You know, you have to.
And people should respect and embrace that.
They don't. But in a weird way, even the haters respect that. Because they cannot deny the truth of the music and the power of the music. You know, the power of my songs. the 300 songs I wrote.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they cannot stop following you.
Yeah, even the haters, they spend so much energy to that.
Yeah, and as some people say that if they think that you're not important, why they are around so much, right?
Exactly. And my ultimate thing is, I think, because I'm not religious or Christian or anything, but I know there's a God, there is a creator who created the whole universe. I call it infinite intelligence. Okay? It's a loving entity that wants good things for us. And I'm in touch with this force, and this force is because if you are a parent, how can you hate your kids? So our creator loves us, and he wants the good things for us. My creator is actually both male and female. It's two, the feminine and masculine force, yeah. And I know that I don't always get what I want, but I always get what I need.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to suffer, but then I'm okay. I know it's like this, but okay, let's do it like this. Then you want it like this, okay, it's better than, because you know better than me. So it's important to sort of like surrender to the force of the streaming of life, because it's in vain to try to fight that force. It's in vain. And I was always really interested about the universe. Ever since I was a kid, I was always watching the stars. Like, what are these? The Greeks thought that stars are actually there's a fire, and they're like holes. They thought, yeah. I even bought a telescope at some point so I could see. And I wrote Destiny album was Stratowar's Destiny album, my second divorce. Because I always write about my feelings. I write songs every day. Even now my guitar is in Mexico, but I write songs with my heart. I write lyrics every day, especially in the nights. Nighttime is the best for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody bothers me. It's like, so I write songs every day, and I wrote a song called Venus in the Morning. For Destiny, yeah. And I could see the Venus planet. It was 4 a.m, and the lyrics started. It's 4 a.m. Yeah, so it's for my daddy. I wrote many songs. Forever is for my daddy. Yeah, Venus in the Morning for my daddy. And that is the divorce album. And I wrote about what I felt, like always do. But the album after that was Infinite, and that's very positive. It's I remember it because that was when I met Dominica. I really love Bon Jovi's Crush album, which everybody hates, but I really love it. I Can Save the World, It's My Life, She's a Mystery, all these things. So when we started being together, I was calling and texting her all the time, and then finally she moved to Finland.
Okay, how long it took for her to...
2 months.
Okay.
2 months. It was funny thing because we met in Strasbourg, with the festival of Strasbourg. And she was very impressed because my trousers were broken, so I was sewing them. And she was, you can sew your own clothes? Well, yeah, well, not really, but somehow. And so that's when I met her. It was after the tour, then the Strasbourg thing happened. So she came like beautiful as she was, with like pink lips and like really pretty. And we in the night we went to the beach, and we were lying in the sand like face to face, and I was really shy. I'm shy, I'm a really shy guy. So she was watching me with those big eyes and like smiling. I was like, I think I'm in love with this girl. But I didn't know, because I was shy, I didn't know what to do. And you know what, I saw suddenly thunder in the horizon. Thunder, and there was a ship going, there's a river. So the waves, we were lying, the waves, we had to get up because of the waves. Yeah. And then we went to the room and we made love for the first time. It was beautiful. And that's when it started. And then she returned to here, and I went to Helsinki, and then for some reason I didn't call her for a week, and she was like actually pissed off. Like, why, Timo, why you promised them? And I think I got a little scared of how intensive it was, But then she decided to move, and then started new life in Helsinki. But there was a clash with my daughter and her since the very beginning, because Nina was like, very young, and her mother has never really cared about her, and she wanted that Dominika would be like her stepmother. And Dominika, okay, she doesn't want kids. She doesn't really understand kids because she was never understood as a kid herself. She was never supported. She was always beaten, always teased in the school because of Karagot's daughter. So she really tried in Helsinki. I still remember one birthday party. It was like 15 kids, and she was playing with them. I'm like, I know that you don't like them. Thank you very much that you're doing this. She really tried, you know. But my daughter was stealing her clothes and stuff. It was really bad, yeah. Because you know how it is. You don't want your daddy to have a new wife. So subconsciously, the kids tried to terminate that. And she was successful. And I still remember when Dominika then moved away because she couldn't stand it anymore. And Nina said, "Oh my God, is she going away?" I said, "Yeah, she's going away because of you." Yeah. Yeah. But still, she moved away, and we saw as much as we could. It was 2004. I was really, really depressed. I was really depressed. It was a horrible time, you know. We did many gigs. I had to play the gigs, and I was really, really depressed, you know. And how did it go from there? Yeah, I think then, because Nina was almost 17, so yeah, then we got a really nice house. It's called Jollas. It's like by the sea. And that's the best time of my life. 2008, 9, 10, 11. Beautiful house, you know, by the sea. I composed Sana, Warrior of Light, in that house in 2 months. Yeah. I had an old iMac. Because this album has no guitars. There is not a single guitar on the whole album. And I was doing everything, you know, with the keyboards and stuff. And they were like Jennifer Soul from Dallas, Aino Laul from Germany, Jörg Michael's ex-wife, and Heikki Pöyhä from Twilight, the singer. So it's like a rock opera. It's one of my favorite albums of my career.
It's an incredible work.
Yeah. Who's calling me?
So, okay, so go.
5-6. What is 5-6?
Germany, I guess. Is Germany?
I don't know.
No, it's Germany. Who cares?
No.
What was I saying? Yeah, the Sana.
The voice is mine. I'm present here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sana is for me like, we should do part 2 because Sana, Warrior of Light, Journey to the Sana part 1, so there should be part 2. But we talked about with Jennifer, and I've been looking for female singer all the time, but suddenly I realized that I have the best singer, who is my daughter. She's a singer. So now I said to Nina, okay, if I go back to Mexico, I fly you there, and we make an album together.
That would be incredible.
Yes.
May I ask you, you have only one daughter? Or you have
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Only one.
Because it comes to my mind now the situation with Karel Gott and his youngest daughter, who became a singer, you know, who everybody knows, and how his oldest daughter must feel.
Yeah.
You know, because she, from what I understand, was totally relegated. She grew up, you know, very bad.
Yes.
I want to understand this because Karel Gott was not in touch with her. What happened? Why this happened?
Well, it took many years before he finally then admitted that it is his child, because she looks like him, same eyes,
copy. She's
a lot like him.
She's
Yes.
a copy,
Yes.
she's a copy. So of course it's obvious that it's his child. And but they were never close, and she was always like very sad about that they could never be close.
Because in a way she pays a price for being her
High
daughter,
price.
exactly, his daughter. You know, so it's like she's famous without having done anything to become famous.
Yes.
So this must be like a real heavy duty thing for her to carry.
Even a burden.
A burden, a very
It's a burden.
big burden.
Because people know her here, and even, you know, she's working as a waitress in Palladium, and people come there to take pictures with her and stuff. You know.
But what do you think about this situation? Because I wonder, like in any other, like if Frank Sinatra's daughter, Nancy Sinatra, would have to become a waitress, I think lots of people would come up and say, no, come here, work for me, or let me give you money, or whatever. Because what do you think about this country that allows Karel Goth's daughter to, have to work in 2 jobs and survive on a very small amount of money.
She doesn't have a choice. She has to do something to get money.
She's very resilient.
Yeah.
Which is usually we say that it's very Czech trait, like of personality, this resilience, and she just survives and keeps on fighting and waking up every day.
I defend her to the fucking end. I'm there for her. I want everybody to know that I'm there.
And so you think she got very little money, and
Yes.
Karel Goth's young wife, who just is moving or has moved to the U.S., etc. She's the one who became incredibly rich.
Yes.
So,
It's wrong because according to the law in Czech here, first of all, the publishing rights, you cannot deny the inheritance rights. She has at least from the publishing money, she has a part. It's impossible to deny this. No contract can never deny this. And the publishing of Karel's song we talk about millions.
Yeah,
millions.
That's where the money is more than.
He was always telling me in the end, Karel, that because he belongs to Gemma, which is a German society like me. I'm also from Gemma, and Karel told me that Gemma money is yogurt money, but for him yogurt money means maybe 1 million. But he said yogurt money.
Yogurt money.
He called it yogurt money. He was yogurt money.
The extra.
And I get 4 times in a year, maybe 5,000 euros, so 20,000.
And because you said that she was sometimes even homeless and with lots of economic difficulties throughout her life.
Yeah.
And
she was never homeless, but we were in last August in a situation where we had no money. Karel and Ivana wanted her to check to alcoholic rehab in Italy.
Oh.
And I said to Domi, "You're not alcoholic." But she said, "I go because I want to keep peace with my daddy." But in the end, she didn't go, and it was the right choice because what the fuck you go if you're not alcoholic, So, and then I met him for the last time in July here, and spent 3 days, wonderful days. We went to Hotel Corinthia, and he was. Blesk was there. I was asking why you have to do this, why you have to document everything and everybody knows you're here. And when I met him in Kampa Park in 2000 for the first time, he came with Ivana, and that's when I met him the first time, and they were fighting constantly all the time.
Ivana and Karel?
Yes. Karel told Ivana, you cannot eat this together like this. And to me it was like, Timo, how you drink that much? How you can drink this amaretto and